Here it says atomic design is a web design theory pioneered by Frost. Atomic design is a process that consists of 5 separate steps that work together to build more coherent, hierarchical, thoughtful interface design system. I would say imagine the basic building block of life. Okay, how things are made up of. At the very smallest, tiniest level, it's an atom, right? It's like we have read it in school, the atomic chart and all of those things, right? So there is the atom. Okay, then lot of atoms comes together, makes molecules. Lot of molecules comes together, creates an organism, right? And that is how we are uh, come to life, or anything that around us come to life in a physical format, right? So this is basically the concept that we can follow in while creating the design system. Okay, so this is the methodology for creating a design system in a more deliberate and hierarchical manner. Okay, we'll follow the hierarchy of atom, molecules, organism. We usually, in frankly speaking, in design industry, nobody calls these names to their elements and all of those things. We usually call, okay, this is my component, this is my button component, or this is my switches and all of this. We'll see those components as well. But this is the methodology, basically the skeleton of the design system that you need to just understand. Okay. Uh, okay. So you can here only you can say bye to this chemistry analogy. Okay. This is just the language of atoms, molecules, and organism. Like carries a helpful hierarchy of for us. Okay. But we usually don't use it in the actual uh, in day-to-day life. Okay, so we'll see what are these things. Okay, okay, there's a subatomic particle here itself. The subatomic particle would be a bare minimal foundation element you would need for all your components. This consists of color palette, typography, shadows, and all. So okay, we'll come to this later. Okay, let's see about the atom. Okay, so let me just take you through this Figma. So here the same image I have from the presentation itself. Atom, molecules, organism. Organism creates templates. Templates create pages. Let's see what is atoms. Okay. So if you see in any particular design system, okay, if you have a text, you might call it label. There's an input box or the button. These are called atoms because these are the basic building blocks of any particular UI, right? When you mix this atom, let's say if I take this particular atom like input box and the button, right? It becomes a search panel, right? So whenever you have to add search anywhere, you would add this particular molecule. Okay, in chemistry it would be molecule. In we will say usually the search functionality that I'm adding, or we'll say a search component that we're adding. Next thing is organism. Okay, we have search, then we have the URL, some of the home, about, blog, contact. You'll also have a logo. Okay, over here this overall becomes a header, right? We usually call in a usually see this in a website, right? On the top of the any particular website called header. Okay, so what happened actually, there are different kinds of molecules that came together like logo, links, and this search functionality, and this created a new organism which is called header. Okay, like such organism, when they comes together, we usually gets a template. Okay, in other word, we called a wireframing of our particular site. Okay, so this is how, like, there is header, then there is hero image, some text, some video, some photos, some photo and text with it, and all of those things. The next is when we have the actual real content, okay, then it becomes a page which actually gets published, right? Like very basic elements of our design library are these button inputs, switches, and all of. We'll see this in the see those in the presentation itself, but these are. I think I have some examples also. Let's say if you see headers, okay. So this is the Yahoo website header, logo, search bar, some links. There are some other links on the top also. You can see this is a famous one, Facebook, the New York Times, Medium, Google. So you can see this is kind of a, we usually call this as a header. We don't call it as organism or something. We usually call it header. When we have search, this is search component. There are these icons. There is this link or the drop down menu. This is what we usually call in our day-to-day language. Okay. So here also, like you must have seen the grids of we usually call it asins. Okay, so if you want to buy a t-shirt, okay, so whenever you search, when you have a search result page is made up of this grid system. Okay, so in this grid is also made up from what? There will be image. Image is an atom, right? Then there is a text. There is another text, and there is a maybe some URL to see the additional colors. So all of these atoms comes together, creates this module. Okay, and all of these modules comes together, creates this grid, which you can, which is basically uh, it's like a organism. But what we would do is basically we would create a design system. uh, we usually create a design system where we keep this component very ready in a way. You have to make create any particular page, you don't have to start from the scratch. Okay, let's say header banao, so you would create a header. Let's say there is another designer who is working with you, he'll also create a header. There will be some problems and there will be some elements here and there. He will make it as he wants, you will make it as you want, and there will be discrepancies in the design. Won't be any synergy. So what we would do, we would create a header and we'll put it in our library design system. Okay, so whenever you are creating a page, you will just drag and drop it into your design, and you'll have the header every time, and that will be consistent, right? And that is how you will usually create your wireframes and then the final pages, all of those things. Okay. Let's come back to, so you have understood what is atoms, molecules, organisms, and finally the template. And okay, finally it's a pages. So page is usually the final design. Okay, and template is usually where you create a wireframes of the particular basically wireframes. In a way you can say a template in a way, because for example, uh, let's say if you want to create, okay, all right, I think let me just go over here. So here is the design system. Like if you have Figma installed in your system, these are the libraries that comes ready-made to you. Like there is a iOS design library. You call it UI kit. There's a material design kit. There is a this is from Figma, which is called simple design system. Whenever you open it, you will get to know their design system in a way. Okay, I'm just opening it up over here. Use UI kit in new file. Okay. Okay. What I actually want to take you to this particular file itself. Oh, Acha, I'm not able to take you to that particular file. Okay, but I think still we can do, I can make a copy of it. Okay. So that atom, molecules, organism, and that is cool. But this is how you would actually create your design system, or these are the design system maybe you will be provided with when you join any particular company. Okay, so let's see how Google has done their design system. So you can see they have added some avatars which you can use. They have some iconography. So let's say if you want to add a back button, You won't be creating a new back button in your app if you are working in Google. You might just be using this particular button, because some of the guys in Google would be responsible for this utility icons also. Okay, so once they change their style of the back button, you don't want to recreate that particular back button. It will automatically get changed in your designs as well. Okay, so you'll always take the particular icon or anything from the parent library. So here you see there's some of the icons they have showed. We'll go to, yeah, here you can see this is a search bar with plus button, search and the recycle bin. It's like basically they are saying one icon, two icons, like utility icons, and there is one with the background and all. So if your app needs something like this, and you're following the material design guidelines, you can directly drag and drop these things. Here are the title bars uh, that I have presented. Okay, so this is like a one time they have to create. All the other designers will just get this from this library itself, and all the designs will look cohesive. So as my friend was asking, like he wants to move something 1 pixel to this side, that side, that is not allowed, because let's say if for this particular, if I use this title as this thing, okay, and all the other pages of my particular app having title in the middle, then unnecessary my page will look something different, and there will be no actual reason that I have to do these things for some real benefit, right? So that is why design systems are very useful. And there is a material design library also. Let me just share my browser. Okay, it'll be. Are you able to see my browser completely, or so if you type material design 3, so you will be provided with this particular website. Let me just see if this is the latest one. Yeah, this is the M3. So here also you will see all the documentation. The one we saw in the Figma was their Figma file, from which you can, it's a library where you can get those icons and all of those things. But why those icons are that way, and how to use it and how not to use it, it's all documented in this particular in on this particular website. So there are accessibility guidelines, there are styles, uh, and you would see like these are the components. Like we don't call it atoms or molecule or something. These are called components. Like if you want to have a bottom app bar, okay, so bottom app bar, how you would show it, just we saw, right? uh, what you should do on those bottom bar, what you should not do on those bottom bar, are actually uh, jotted down over here. Okay, let's you want to use cards. There will be some do's and don'ts also, I expect. Say card spaces. Yeah, there are some specs. Okay, they have created a tab view. So in the overview, it's just an overview of these things. You can see the specs. Specs is like specification. Then there are the guidelines, okay, where you should use, where you should not use, do's and don'ts, and all of those. Like these are do's, don'ts, and all of those things. If you follow these guidelines, then your website will be, one way you would see there as per the material design guidelines. Another way is like more user friendly in a way, because these guidelines has been created by Google, keeping the end user in mind. So let's go back to, yeah, so you guys can download this and you can just go through their, how they are showing carousel, checkboxes, chips, date pickers, and all of those things, and you can just understand, okay, why they have done, why they've added okay and cancel button over here, not why not over here. For that, you have to read the design guideline on the website. All the designers in the design industry are well versed with all these material design guidelines and human interface guidelines from iOS. You have to have a complete knowledge about their guidelines. Then only actually you can create a better product. Better product in terms of also, like if you do something fancy and you provide it to a developer, developer might come to you, okay, this is not as per the guideline. We cannot provide this thing. We have to make it custom. We have to create it. But if you custom create it, and when eventually you will upload it on the app store, it might get rejected because it is not following their guideline. So the because you guys are creating this design, you should be well versed with the all the guidelines. And once you go through these guidelines, uh, you will understand much better what is the rationale behind what they are doing. Okay, so coming back to our presentation. So what are the UI elements? We have just seen the UI. So we just saw the UI elements on the Figma. Specifically, we saw the material design one. If you want, I can quickly show you how the Apple's design system looks like. Like this is iOS 18, which is very latest, right? I think some of you might be having this library also, like this system installed on your phones also if you're using iPhones or iPad. Okay, so you just have to go make a copy of this, and once you create copy, you will be able to basically see all the elements that they are there. Your app, you want to use the Face ID, you don't have to create it from the scratch. You can just drag and drop this particular element on your screen, and it will be done, and then it will be exactly as Apple would intend. So if you want to use keyboards, you don't have to create this keyboards at all, right? So this saves so much time, right? We're not gonna reinvent the keyboard in a way, right? In a particular app, you might not have to. So you can directly just drag and drop this components in your designs, and you're good to go. Okay, so this is the iOS one. Okay, I'll tell you again, in your own sweet time, explore these libraries. Just go, just take any particular elements, read their guidelines also, and see how they have created this component as well. Okay, let's